Hey guys, it's Mark from Christ-Centered Fitness again. Today I want to take a few minutes to expand on my post yesterday about time management and apply that more towards parents or parents of young children for whom some of those strategies might be a little bit more difficult because their time is a little bit more unpredictable and difficult to manage. But I do want to be clear though that I feel that time management really goes near the top of the hierarchy in terms of importance when trying to improve your physical health or your spiritual health, your emotional health, and ultimately getting stuff done in your life that isn't just putting out the fires that are happening emergently in the short term, but looking at the long term and making sure that your true priorities are taken care of. There's a story that was told, I think I read it in a book called First Things First by Stephen Covey. Would highly recommend you pick that up if this is something you struggle with. But there's a story told about a professor who comes into a classroom and he puts a big glass cylinder on the table, and he fills that cylinder with a bunch of rocks, like large rocks. He puts them in this glass cylinder, and he says to the class, "Is this cylinder full?" And the class looked, and they go, "Yeah, it looks full to us." And then the professor proceeds to reach under the desk, and he gets another container out full of gravel, and he pours that into the cylinder. He shakes it around, and the gravel falls around the big rocks. And he says to the class, is it full now? And the class start, okay, now they're a little bit more skeptical, some yes, some no. So the professor continues to reach under the desk one more time, and he pulls out a container full of sand. Again, he dumps it into the other container, shakes it around, the sand falls in around the big rocks and the gravel to finally fill up the container. And this is representative of time management in our lives. When you put the big things, the most important things, the long-term important things into the container first, then the smaller things like your house payment, your car payment, and then all the trivial things will fall around those things and fit into your life. However, if you let all the trivial small things fall in first, you put the sand in first and then you put the gravel in, it's going to be really hard to fit all those big rocks in. In fact, most of them won't fit. So when we don't manage our time well, we end up taking out the important stuff, and that's critical for long-term success in physique or body composition change, health change, but ultimately, all the other things in our lives as well. So it is imperative that we manage our time. Now, parents, don't fear, because if you looked at my schedule, you would see that I had blocked off specifically an hour for exercise. And you're like, I ain't got an hour to do that. And that is actually fine. I mean, it might be that you're going to put in 15 minutes a day of exercise while your child is sleeping, or 15 minutes in the morning before you go to work, or something like that. It can be as simple as doing stuff like that to get in physical activity. Now, practically speaking, to say I'm going to do 15 minutes of physical activity every day of the week might be a stretch for people, because if you're doing nothing and you feel really overwhelmed, then that's not something you're going to have the confidence to say you're going to do. And even if you try, if you miss a day, you're going to be discouraged and maybe not want to carry on. So my suggestion in the beginning is say, one day this week, actually this day this week at approximately this time. In other words, I know my child goes for a nap between 2 to 3. On Wednesday, I'm going to do 15 minutes of physical activity at home. I'm going to put in my Turbo Jam CD. I'm going to do something. It doesn't matter what it is. The key is that you do something for that block of time that you allocate for yourself. And then the next week, now that you have a little bit more confidence, maybe you say, last week I was successful in doing this one time. Maybe I'm going to do it Tuesday and Thursday. And you can build up that way. Another strategy that is helpful sometimes is maybe an after-dinner walk with your spouse and the child. Another strategy, of course, is to talk to your spouse or significant other and say, hey, listen, I want to make exercise a priority. How about, I will watch the children or child from this period of time to that period of time so that maybe you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And as an exchange, then you agree to watch the child from this time to this time. and really let them know that it's important to you, and it's important not just for you, but for them, because you want to be around and healthy and able to be able to help and serve them, and also to be, an example for your child, because behaviors are caught, not taught. So your children will see what you do and ultimately grow up into that and want to take care of their bodies and prioritize it in their schedule because it's the default. It's what they know. It's what they're used to. So those are just a couple strategies that you can use in terms of trying to fit in physical activity when you have a child. Again, start small. It doesn't so much matter what you do. It's that you start and that you do it. So that is my suggestion for you today. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Again, as always, if this video is valuable to you, like it, share it, comment, ask questions, whatever you need. I'm here for you guys. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.